Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, SUVs, the Kiefer dog who's just never ending, high output, high energy, and wow, beyond wow. Say good morning to all my subscribers, but boy oh boy, it just doesn't end. It does not end. I literally about lost my house last night, and I'll have a video separate for that just to show you what just about happened in my house last night. Inside of this house, that's my big master bedroom living area. The birds just about burnt down my house last night. So I'm going to stop the video right now as I'll paste in the other part and then I'll come back to this. Wow and wow and wow. I just about lost part of my house last night. The birds are now trying to move into my house, and the birds set up shop in my fan here over my bed, and this is just crazy. So the birds, unbeknownst to me, built a nest in this bowl, and they're actually trying to build another one over here, I believe, in this bowl. So I have these fans where it's kind of a stupid design in some ways because it catches and collects all the debris. Even here, so unbeknownst to me, last night I came in my house about 9:30, and I turned on my light over here, and I noticed that it wasn't that bright, but I didn't pay much attention to it, so I turned the dimmer switch up, and I left, and I went in another room. And I'm in my kitchen, I start smelling smoke, and I literally walked down my hall, and I walked my bedroom, and this is just starting on fire. This is all fire coming out of this bowl. And I grab my fire extinguisher and I jump up on the bed and I miraculously put this fire out. Had I been gone from my room, I think for more than 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, I think I was gone like 4 minutes. But if I had gone another part of the house, just hung out there for a little while, I'd have to honestly say that the portion of my house, this backside of my house where my bedroom in, would be burnt. I mean, oh my gosh, wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Man, what is going on in Iceman's life? Just about dies on a motorcycle. Just about burns down the freaking house. I mean, oh my gosh, it just doesn't end, man. Wow. I mean, yeah, what should today's word of the day be? Fire. That isn't the word of the day, but oh my gosh, beyond believable. You watch that video. It's just beyond believable. Had I stayed in the other part of my front of my house here last night for a little while, I'd have to honestly say that half my house would be burnt today. Very possible. I mean, it could get radical and be the whole house. Who knows? And then, well, oh my gosh, until you've ever had a house catch on fire, you don't really know the dire circumstances you're put in because of all your goods, all your stuff's ruined. And wow, just incredible. It's a fight with the birds. So the birds have decided to move into my house because they can't get into the barn out here because I'm smoking the heck out of them and even burning myself up. Yeah, last night I was adding charcoal lighter fluid, and the freaking stove caught my arm. I singed part of my hair and even part of Kiefer's. It's just a fire bomb. Yep, there goes the bird. See, they're still fighting to get in here, but oh my gosh. Here we are. So is the truck finally charged up? This is so challenging. Yes, it finally charged up. Let's see. Yep, it did. So the good news is my project of relocating this charger to get it out of my garage, that was a project. I'm sure most people that watch my channel, they saw all that as I continue to smoke out the birds. And for the most part, the birds are trading places. Yeah, that would be the good word. So the word of the day today is trade. I thought, wow, we haven't talked about trade. And boy, that's a broad meaning for many, many different things. Trading cars, trading players in the league, trading stocks. I mean, it's just, that's kind of like infinite conversation. That's what the focus is the trade conversations. And yesterday was the light conversations. So I'm sure many people thought that today would be the dark conversations, which in some way, yeah. But I thought to myself, with a lot of people kind of jumping on me about the Ford Electric Lightning truck, about me buying an electric truck, but they don't understand. I traded. Like another person's like, you bought another freaking vehicle. No, I traded another vehicle. So I think there's a fine line there, how you handle that. There's a wife. Oh my gosh. Just, you have no idea that back in the 2000 year, my house used to be oil heat. And when I was on vacation for like the first time, I was on my first vacation. Hey, stop it. Kiefer just always wants to get riled up. My wife and I are in Florida because I started my business, my public telephone business, in 1996. So I'm not lying to you. So it's my first breakaway from 4 years of working every day of my life to build a public telephone company. That the Millennium 2000 that's what it was. The crash. Everybody thought that the clocks would be wrong, the computers would crash. So my wife and I go to Florida to visit my family. And while we're gone, one guy that works for me at that time, he calls me and says, your whole interior of your house is black. I'm like, what? He's like, it's like your house caught on fire. Well, I used to have a oil furnace, and the chimney had a brick come out of the interior of the chimney, and it blocked the flow of when the furnace turned on to heat the house. So all the exhaust backfed into the house. So now I've got a major problem where my house has been totally smoked. So now I'm down in Florida. I mean, I'm not making this story. It's beyond unbelievable. So now my wife and I are like, okay, we have, I think we had 3 dogs at that time. I can't keep track. No, I think we had 3 or 4 dogs at that time. All right, get up there. Take your ball. Get your ball. Hey, here's your ball. Look, it's always challenging. Hey, Keith, look at here. Keith, look at there. Get your ball. Come on, get up there. Come on. I don't know what you guys are going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. What are you going to do, Will? Are you trying to go upstairs? Come on. So now my wife and I are in Florida, and she's like, well, I guess we'll have to get a hotel. Come on, get up there. And I'm like, there's no way. I have a business to run, and I didn't have this. So this barn was still in a shambles and was falling to the ground. So I'm like, how am I going to run the business out of a hotel? How are we going to take care of dogs in a hotel? How are we going to take care of the prop? I'm like, there's no way. So I'm like, I'm going to get an RV. My wife said, RV? Oh my gosh. And I'm like, yes, we'll get an RV. So now, good luck. What do you think everybody did when the 2000, everybody's concerned that we're going to have blackouts. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I started calling around to rent an RV. You couldn't find any RV dealer up and down the eastern seaboard had an RV. I'm not embellishing on that. There goes the wife to work. And so now my wife is like, oh my gosh. So she's like adamant. I'm like, no, we're going to find an RV. I finally find an RV in Gambrills, Maryland at Leo's RV Center. And we rent an RV. And this is now the dead of winter. And we've got this RV sitting out in front of our house. I mean, if you want to talk about the Beverly Hillbillies, we didn't have all these cars and trucks back at that time. But so now I've got a RV sitting out in front of my house. And my wife is just hating every bit of it because she just doesn't like RVs. And she didn't like this RV because we froze her ass off. And it was a cheap-ass RV. And so now we're sitting and living in front of our house as they have to come and take apart our whole interior of our house. It wasn't that big. So the backside didn't exist. And that front big addition, when I walk out of every morning, that didn't exist either. So it was a lot smaller house. But they literally had to take and clean everything. They had to take all the clothes out. I mean, it was like at least a 2-week project, if I remember right, maybe even a month. And my wife, she was just grumbling under her breath all the time because we're living in this freaking RV. It's a dead of winter. It's cold as all get out. We're getting snows, and the RV would rattle and shake when the winds came through. You could feel the air coming up through the bottom of it. So my wife, she is so anti-RV. From that experience, she's totally convinced that these newer RVs are just no fun. I'm like, they're totally different. That was a cheap-ass RV, honey. So she's just adamant that she relates the RV experience with living in front of my house and freezing her ass off and being crammed in this little itty-bitty, it was like a 30-foot RV. I mean, in RVs, 30 foot's big, but it's not like big, if you kind of get all that. Maybe it was like a 26 or 28. Anyways, so we've been through the fire damage, which wasn't so much fire damage, but it's the smoke. you know as well as I do, if the back side of that house had really got on fire, and even if the fire department got here and they extinguished the back portion, the whole house is smoked. It's ruined. It's not livable. You have to have the experts come in and gut it all out and clean it all up. It'd be a major, oh my gosh. Yeah, then we're going to be renting another RV. My wife would be like, I'd be like, yeah, let's go get an RV, honey. That would actually be pretty cool in some ways. But I've been blessed. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so it's ongoing Iceman's antics, activities. It just doesn't end with stories. And I think most people will be saying, I think most people would say, you're probably going to burn your barn down with your stove here, or your electric charging station is going to burn up your barn because your Ford truck's going to catch on fire and burn your barn down. So I think most people would be more on the page that, yeah, yes. Should I just change the conversation to fire? Maybe we'll make it tomorrow. I don't know. It's trying to keep content to everybody here on my channel that watches me on a regular basis. And I really thought that the trade conversation would be the theme today, not the fire conversation. But once again, when you see that video that I spliced in at what happened, wow. I mean, just unbelievable. Just wow. Just every day's a new day, right, everybody? So the reason the trade conversation came in to me, and I haven't had this conversation, is so many people are calling me out. Not a lot, but some people are calling me out and buying yet another electric vehicle. And so many people think that I'm just a fool for buying yet another electric vehicle. And so many people are like, these things are just junk. And then even my friend is like, just quit buying stuff. I'm like, but in so many ways, I didn't buy something. I traded something. So, and that's the thing. I have to think of myself. I talk all the time about how many cars I've bought in my lifetime. How many cars have I traded? I'd be curious to anybody on my channel that really watches my channel on a regular basis. How many vehicles did I trade last year? Because the downside for me is I end up adding vehicles without trading one. And which that just adds to my challenge of managing my debt and having to pay more bills. So if you look at, so here in the garage, I never traded anything for the Corvette. So that's just another added debt. The Camaro, I didn't trade. I was able to get the deal bought with no trade. That Gold Rush Challenger, I never traded anything for that. So it's just another added vehicle. The Mustang Dark Horse, no, I think it was the Mustang GT. The Mustang GT, I don't think I traded anything. So I actually just bought and added another car. So just right there, as far as in the last 6 months, there's the Mustang, that's one. There's the Corvette 2, Camaro 3. The Challenger, that'd be over a year, but that'd be 4. There's just 4 added vehicles. And then, there's 4 added vehicles just off the tip of my tongue as I'm, walking around my driveway and talking. And then you had to trade something for that. And I had to trade something for that. So for the most part, all these other vehicles, well, the Jeep, no, I had to trade something for the Maverick for that. So, and that was that, So, yeah, for the most part, okay, so am I right or wrong? I think car-wise, just buying something and out trading something just in the last 6 months or year, I'd have to say I've added 4 more cars. But then you go to the motorcycles, I don't even know. The motorcycles, I can honestly say the new Honda Goldwing, that was no trade. The Triumph Rocket, that was no trade. The Harley-Davidson CVO down here I bought in Florida, that was no trade. The Indian Bobber, the Chief Bobber, that was no trade. So just right there, that's at 1, and then 2 for the two in Florida, then the Goldwing. But I've also bought a Goldwing non-tour last year, so that'd be 4. Then the Rocket's 5, and then with the Goldwing, did I say Goldwing? So I have 2 Goldwings, 6. The Indian FTR 7. CB 1008. But I think I traded something for that. But so I would say simple math. I've added 10 more vehicles to be having to have obligations to pay for. So yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's sickening, isn't it? Yeah, it's sickening. And even one of my friends was kind of calling me out and me buying all this stuff. I said, but what happens is I'll go the other direction. At some point, I'll be like, you know what? I'm just going to start getting rid of stuff. I just cycle like that. So then am I trading it for something or just selling it? And that's the challenge. And that's why I think the trade conversation is a great conversation this morning, because that's the challenge for most people that go out and buy cars. Is you go out and buy a car and you have it for a year or 2 years and you get that itch to get a different car. And I hear it all the time through Metallica and Corporate Busa and other individuals that are on my channel that watch, and they comment how their wife would kill them if they freaking went out and just bought another damn vehicle. And they're like, your wife, I don't know how your wife puts up with it. Well, in many ways she doesn't. I mean, if you think my wife hasn't talked about walking out that front door and never coming back, yeah, I've had that conversation a few times. I mean, it's not easy. And me as a married man, I get it. I mean, truly, I get it. And for me, there's not many women in the world that are going to put up with my antics. I get all that. But I'm not looking for another woman. I found my woman, so I'm very happy with who I have. She may not be happy with me, but she is, for the most part. We make it work. But the point is, you get an itch to go buy another vehicle, and the dilemma is, which I talked about yesterday in my kind of shorty midday video, me driving around in the F-150 Lightning truck, and I share my adventures. What's the odds of me driving by my daughter, going down the road, putting down the road after my wife rode around with my daughter. My wife and daughter on Sunday or Saturday. It was Saturday. They took Kiefer to the trainer and they spent the afternoon with her. Well, my daughter drove the Ram TRX truck, and my wife was just freaking out that my daughter drives too fast. But if you live in this area, you drive the roads, everybody drives too fast. I talk about that many times in my video. You just ride around with me, you'll see how people go too fast. So my wife is very concerned my daughter is going to get in an accident, get a speeding ticket, because she feels like she's too aggressive a driver. So yesterday we made a video, shorty at first, but then I expanded on that video throughout the day on how I went by my daughter yesterday putting down the road. I mean, that was so funny. And she did see me, but I had such bad hearing. She claims she beeped the horn, but I didn't see her. But she usually calls me when I go by her. Hey, Dad, I just saw you go by me. So that was a really good video. I got a bunch of video right yesterday if you have any time and nothing to do and want to watch another video of the Iceman's antics. And so the thing is, you own your car, your truck, your motorcycle, whatever it may be, your RV, your boat, and you get the itch to get something new and different. And the challenge is, if you didn't put a lot of money down, you're not going to be able to really get rid of that car for the most part. And if you traded something for the car and it was somewhat upside down, which that's a huge, here, he got a debris trying to fly in. Start shooting these things, right? Yeah, so I'm shooting them. I hit my cars, I hit the roof, and I mean, trust me, I'm not that, I know how to shoot guns, but I'm not that stupid. Start putting holes in my barn. Yeah, I mean, there's experienced shooters out here I could bring in here, and they'd take these guys out in a heartbeat. I know that, but for me, no way. Then the bullet goes to the glass over there, goes in the car. Yeah, and then the neighbors will be riled up, somebody shooting the gun off. So I'll pass on that. Hopefully the burn, my smoker thing is, for the most part, keeping the birds out, because you look in here, you're not seeing a lot of you're not seeing bird crop over these cars, which at this time of year, it's full-blown birds are now nesting. It's full-blown. So I think I'm accomplishing it. And these birds fly out of the barn, and they go to the right here, and they crap all over everything, and that's not happening either. So I think the smoker is working. So you're stuck in some ways, because when you go to trade your car out, as well as, here's the economics of the car business. Car dealerships can't stay in business giving cars away. People may think they're getting the deal. You're never getting the deal. The dealership always is getting the deal. And I know, and there's definitely times when the dealerships don't make as much money as they want, but for the most part, they're not in business. And the guys that own these dealerships aren't multimillionaires or worth $1 billion because they give cars away. And they're buying up. You just look at the dealerships. You just look at what's going on in the industry of being gobbled up by the big guys like Ashbury. It's called Ashbury Automotive Group is now the ownership of Coons Automotive Group. You know, how'd the guy give Jim Coons $20 billion or whatever amount of money? How'd the guy do that? By giving cars away? I mean, and you have all these YouTubers out here that'll tell you the dire straits of the car industry, how to negotiate a deal on a car. You will never, ever, ever know the real price that the car dealership pays for a car. You'll never know it. I've talked about this so many times. The car owner, the guy that owns the dealerships, never disclose that the manufacturer gives him rebates at the end of the year for moving volume cars. So even though the manager will see a price of cost on the vehicle, that ain't the cost, man. The owner ain't going to show you the real deal. There's no way these dealerships make the amount of money they do by telling you're just selling an invoice. What? Oh, okay. Well, there's 2 invoices for the record. And, you know, and I'm not the expert. I can be wrong, but there's just no way these dealerships make type of money. So if you think it through, you go out and buy a $50,000 vehicle. The odds are, in the back end, it's $40,000. The owners paid $40,000 for it. So you get it for $46,200, $45,300, whatever it is. Oh, you got the deal, right? But here's the challenge for you. If you go buy that vehicle, you get it for $45,000, you put sales tax on it, the back end, $9.99 administration fee, and then you put the gap insurance on there. Then you buy the warranty or the service package, blah, 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 blah. You're a $55,000 car. And you put down $5,000. You just put down 10%. So now you've got a $50,000 note. So now a year later, you get the itch to get out of the vehicle. And I wouldn't use the Bronco that much because it's still a pretty hot item. But just for the norm, the Bronco, it's not the Raptor, not the regular Bronco. Yeah, I'd use that as a good example. So now you want to go trade it in. And the dealership says, we gave you $40,000 for it. Why are they going to give you $40,000 for it? Because they can buy a brand new one for $40,000 for it. Hello. That's the only reason they're going to give you $40,000 for it. You're lucky. They may offer you $38,000. So now you have all those back-end deals in there, and you made X amount of payments, but you still owe like $48,000, $45,000 in vehicle. That's very conservative. So there's at least $5,000, maybe $7,000 of negative equity. So now you go buy another vehicle. You decide you want another vehicle, it's a nicer vehicle, it's a little bit more money, but they don't discount it as much. So now you bury $7,000 into that car, and then you put down $5,000 again, but then you buy the back end. You know, does this sound familiar to anybody? Or a lot of people, they don't even put any money down. They put zero down. They get qualified at zero down. So you're buried in the car. So you can't. So the whole point of this conversation is trading a car for a car is the worst thing to do in so many ways. Because typically, if the person that wants to get a car every year or two, you're going to be constantly fighting the negative equity in the car. Now, sure, it's a great idea to trade your car if you've had it for X amount of years and you've paid it off, and now you have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to put towards another car. But I can assure you, that's not the majority of the deals. Majority of the deals are people that are upside down their cars. And that's what's going on more than ever now, and that's what people are making fun of, is the pandemic created the high-priced used cars, the high-priced new cars, and now the car industry is paying dearly for people that paid way too much for cars that now they're buried in, they can't get out of. And that's my point. Here's the deal. I had a Ford Mustang Mach-E that I buried 2 cars of negative equity into one car. Yes, but back when the Mach-E was such a hot item, you'd be so lucky to get one. The bank bought all the negative equity, even me putting down just a minimal amount of money. But I truly felt like that Mach-E would knock out 2 stones, which is saying 2 things in one. That 2 birds in a stone, is that the saying? And so I thought my wife would be content on driving that to work to help her save on fuel economy, and it'd then take me from 2 payments to 1 payment. And I thought that would be a win-win, and I really thought that the Mach-E would always have respectable value. How wrong was I? But I did have another blue Grabber Blue Mach-E that I did get out of that had negative equity in it, but I did get out of it, and because I paid over on that car. I can't remember if I traded, what did I trade for that Grabber Blue one? I can't remember. So anyways, so the point is for me, those people that are calling me out, why the heck did you buy another vehicle? No. I traded. I found a deal where they had $30,000 of monies to play with to take the $30,000 of negative equity out of that Ford Mustang Mach-E. Yeah, that's how bad it is. So think that through. For the electric car market, people are getting destroyed on the electric cars. And the Ford market is getting destroyed. Why? People are going to say, because it's not a good product. People don't want it. Well, yeah, but not really. Really what's going on is the world markets, like Build Your Dream, Tesla, and other companies are being forced to hand to start lowering their prices on electric vehicles. And so it's having a big impact on the likes of Ford. And that's a challenge, even for Rivian, even for a bunch of other electric car manufacturers out there are being challenged more than ever because the market is forcing their vehicles to be less expensive. So for the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the challenge is it's competing with the, I guess, what the Tesla, which Tesla is it competing with? The 3 or the Y? I'm not really even sure because I'm not really that into the Tesla product. I don't really research it and do all my looking and glaring at the car that I just don't have any interest in. So the point is, with Elon Musk dropping his prices by $10,000, $20,000 on his cars, he's created the market that's forced Ford the hand to have to build less expensive cars. And for the guys like me that bought them right out of the gate, your values have been killed. And that's what I was talking about. In some ways, I should have taken the black Ford F-150 truck right here, and I should have traded it for the white one. But that makes no sense to me, because I'm just trading a truck for truck. There's nothing there. I just doesn't, but here's the thing. Even if I went down that road, the challenge is I paid $90,000 for that car a year and a half ago. I still owe, if I remember right, I don't even know. Yeah, I think I owe, is I buried? No, I don't think it buried. I can't remember. But the whole point is, for that vehicle, that's about a $40,000 trade vehicle. 45 maybe. And somebody say, but why? Well, because I just got a truck over here that's $80,000 with basically $20,000 off. So it's a $60,000 truck, brand new. So for a guy that goes to look for a brand new truck that gets the tax subsidy versus the guy goes and buys the used truck that gets no tax subsidy, nor the Power Pro Station, because it never came with the truck, or the guy that sold it back at Koons Baltimore Ford, he reneged on giving Koons Baltimore Ford back that Power Pro Station so he could sell it his own on eBay or Marketplace and put probably $1,500 in his pocket. Yeah, that's what he did. So for the guy that starts evaluating my truck, for Koons Baltimore Ford, they're going to probably advertise this thing for $49,999. So for them to be careful, they're going to probably price me at 44 grand. So for me, there's 20, 30 grand of negative equity. So it just makes no sense. So back to the trade, in so many ways, the trade is what kills a lot of deals of people being able to buy a new car. People buy a new RV. People buy a new boat. And once again, it's because all of us are in the same predicament for the most part. We only make so much money. We only have so much cash flow. We only have so much what makes sense. How much are you going to put down on a car? And for me, in all hindsight, I've said this for years. In hindsight, for me, if I had any brains, for the amount of money I spend every month, I could just be buying a brand new car or a very nice used car. After a few months, you just pay it off. And then I have a car, and then just sit back for a while, and then I could just buy another car. But am I that smart? No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not. I'm just sharing with you my lifestyle and what I do. And yeah, is it crazy? It is crazy. Yeah, is it sometimes out of control? It feels like it. I hadn't even turned my other light on this Dodge Challenger, and we all know the market for all these damn cars has tanked. So as far as trade values, I'm blown away how bad the Dodge market is. Dodge market's pitiful. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how people were willing to pay over $100,000 for this car, and today you'd probably fight. Well, I don't know. That's debatable because my good friend Mo Muhammad up there at Dulles Dodge, he tells me that he just had a guy buy out a guy's super stock for $121,000. He actually paid the guy's note. The guy owed $121,000 on a Dodge Challenger super stock, and the guy literally paid off his loan. And now, probably this guy has 7, I told you this last week, probably this guy has 7 Demon 170 sitting in a warehouse. The guy apparently owns like 3 businesses, and he's got a lot of money, a ton of money. I mean, so that's one thing about my channel. People do call me out. You know, I'm some rich-ass bastard. You know, oh, the problems of the rich people. And it's just like, yeah, but what you don't realize, all the people have all the money. They don't show it. They don't show it. They won't show it to you. So there's people out there that have so much money that, I mean, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I'm nothing. If you take all these cars and trucks away from my property and you drove by this old farmhouse, what would you really think? I mean, sincerely, you probably think, oh, there's just a nice, you know, family couple that have a nice little piece of property, and there it is. That's all it'd be. Take all the cars and trucks away, and then for my YouTube channel, I get up each morning, and there's 2 cars in the driveway. And I start talking, and what do I talk about? And that's the only reason that I started this channel, is because I just had a friend of mine, Joe, bug me for years, that worked for me, that I should start a YouTube channel. But I was like, but I think in so many ways it'll come across as it's just me flaunting everybody, my arrogance, and I think I'm so special. That's not who I am. And I know that, and people watch my channel. I know you know that. But for the shorties, and if people only watch a 30-second clip of a video, it's very easy for them to come to closure. I'm just some rich-ass guy that's loaded with money. No, I'm loaded with debt. I'm loaded with debt. Beyond believable. At the highest ever in my lifetime. Right now, I have the most car payments and the highest amount of debt ever in my lifetime. So when do I start trading? When do I trade a different lifestyle? You know, who doesn't know that? Well, who doesn't want to trade up their profession? Who doesn't want to trade their wife or husband? I mean, you know, who doesn't want to trade in their girlfriend or boyfriend? Yeah, who doesn't want to trade in their boss? And then you go to the professional sports, it's always about the trade. That, you know, somebody gets traded, and that then maybe makes or breaks the team. I mean, Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the New York Jets. It was classic. First play, he gets out in the field, and he's in so many ways crippled because Aaron Rodgers has had his day, but they don't want to hear it, and they just keep on continuing to play. And then Tom Brady was traded from the Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and miraculously, he took him to a Super Bowl and won, which that was pretty incredible. And then you have Mahomes that, you know, many years ago, he finally negotiated one of the biggest earning quarterbacks in the NFL at that time. What's it, Deshaun Watson or whatever? That guy, that's a fiasco. You think about these deals that go on with, look at Lamar Jackson. He was threatened to be traded. They didn't give him all his money. Yeah, who doesn't know these stories? Then, as I always talk about, you know, the trade. If you traded stocks, think if you would have traded in your one stock and cashed out of it for the NVIDIA stock, and where would you be today? You'd probably be very, very wealthy. That would be my guess. Oh, so where's the? So what do I trade next, right? And I'm sure some people, even like me, in all sincereness, the Ford Lightning truck that came to be was never planned. But see here, so some people don't understand what I did yesterday. I had 2 charging stations. I've already used my pretty plaque here to cover up the hole. So I measured like 23 feet of cable. This is that like number 8 wire cable, if you can kind of see it up there. That stuff is so expensive. I mean, you're talking lots of money. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to go up to Home Depot. There goes the bird. They're living way up in the back of my barn. There's no way I'm going to go to Home Depot and go buy 30, 40 feet of wire to redo this electric job. There's just no way. I mean, I'm just not going to do it. So I made it and got creative and went high up. Then I got creative where I just take the cable. I didn't want to put this charging station outside. So these guys are actively right now gathering all the debris to put up in my barn. And in so many ways, that's a fire hazard. You can only imagine. Hasn't happened in all the years the barn's been here, but good Lord. So I just pulled the plug out and I can plug it in the truck now. Now the truck is out of the way to charge, which I'm happy about that. And I can leave my special cars, inside the garage where I need to. So here's the thing. Yeah, the splitter, I know. So it's just another freaking project. I got a guy wanting my fuel tank. I got to deliver it to the guy tomorrow. That's a project. Getting that unloaded in the back there. Big 550-gallon fuel tank that I've tried to sell over the years. And if I got a guy that wants to buy one, So I'm going to get that out of there and put it in my trailer. I'm going to deliver it to him to help him out. He has a van. He's like, I'm going to put it in my van. Like, there's no way, dude. There's no way you can put that thing in your van. It ain't going to work like that. But anyways, so I'm going to help on that. So the whole point of this is, this was just a fluke. This is a fluke. That was a fluke. This over here was just a total fluke. I mean, there's just some deals that just come out of nowhere that are just a total fluke that I just don't see really playing out and happening. So if you watch my videos, my daughter drove this to the horse yesterday, and she thinks that this is the ticket. She would take this over the Ram TRX. I was like, wow. Wow. But she said, you know, and she's right. How many of these do you see driving down the road? And it's a more fun, free-spirited vehicle. I should supercharge it so I can be the Cletus McFarland. Yeah, that guy knows how to run a channel. That guy knows how to make money. Cletus McFarland, that guy knows how to make money. That's the thing about YouTube videos and channels. You got a guy like me that just kind of keeps her going. And you get these other people that just hit the right buttons, and man, it's insane how much money they make off of making video content. Let's get upstairs here, kind of wrap up the trade conversations. And so now if you go to the political side of what's going on with our trade, I talked about it last week that Janet Yellen is going to China to argue about unfair trade practices by the Chinese. So she's not happy because it's going to infiltrate the Joe Biden Inflation Reduction Act. If you know, everybody's heard that a million times on my channel, but most people are clueless to what the IRA is. I think it's an investment retirement account. You tell somebody, if you heard about Joe Biden's IRA, oh, what type of IRA does he have? Does he have a good IRA? Yeah, he sure does. One at the taxpayer's expense. Here's Keefy wanting to attack Daddy. All right, chill. He just loves attention. Little boy just loves to play with Daddy. So, here's Janet Yellen over there in China trying to convince them not to bring in their cheap green agenda stuff to our country because it's going to undermine Joe Biden's trillion-dollar green agenda investments. And I read this morning that the younger generation, the Z generation, isn't excited by Joe Biden's green agenda policies. You hear that? The younger generation could care less about this stuff that's going on in our country with the green agenda. They're just like, the number one concern is immigration. They're concerned with the well-being of our country. Isn't that something? But they just want to do this. When that conversation comes up, it turns into, what are you talking about? I have no idea. So, the trade, another interesting article I read was Iran. And Iran is getting all of this technology. I never knew this, but Iran is like the number one drone military operation in the world at this time. And I could kind of be a little wrong in that, but Iran is using drone capability like never seen, ever. And what's concerning here is they're getting the technology through the trade of our country, that there's companies out there that are giving them this technology, not directly, but indirectly, so that they gain our own incredible knowledge of how to build drones that are incredible killing machines, and they're undermining us in so many ways. And the companies that are supporting them are in some ways contributing to the incredible military warfare that's going on overseas. And so once again, I didn't really know a lot about this, but they have like a whole fleet, just like a whole military fleet of drones. So Iran has figured out how to use the non-personnel in the battlefield. They're using the airships, the aircraft, the drones, the remote control fly vehicles to do military operations. And you just have to, and even one latest strike was apparently a while back, where the drone intercepted one of our own drones, and the military didn't know it was their drone that then made a hit on like one of our ships or something. So you just have to wonder. I mean, it just seems like on our side of the country, it's quiet. It's not quiet, but it is quiet. And you just have to start to wonder. And then you're hearing about how there's chatter or someone's raising their hand and saying, hey, if you're going to public gatherings, you should be very abreast to potential terrorist attack. I don't know. I mean, you see this stuff on X, so I'm not really, abreast of everything because I just don't really watch the news. I don't want to do it. I don't watch the news for the most part. And who watched the solar eclipse, which that was a huge thing yesterday. So he got blinded by the light, right? Is that a song, Blinded by the Light? So I'm sure a lot of people on the page, they want to trade out this administration. Yeah, there's a lot of people, but there's a lot of other people who don't want to make the trade. Isn't that something? So this fall, when elections come, who will win the hand? Who will be traded out and who will be traded in? What do you think? I mean, I think that the odds are that there's going to be no trade. I really do. I think that where we are in today's society with all this social media, the propaganda, and Elon Musk, he posts so much stuff of the disgruntled, how disgruntled he is with this country and Joe Biden. I mean, he posts on X all the time, how unhappy he is about what's going on in our country. And he's claiming like 40 states don't even require photo ID to vote. So, just basically, we all know this story though. It's the same story. That's are we gonna witness just a rewind of what happened in 2020? I don't know, man. I just think where we are in today's society, what you think makes sense, it makes no sense. And what makes no sense, you think that other people see it as it making sense. It's just, oh my gosh. So kind of leave it at that without getting all heavy and getting people all riled up about the political times we're in and everything else. And I keep going on and on. The video turns into a very, very long video, and I get that. Then people are just like, so what's going on next? I don't know. I don't know what's going on next. I'm not checking my Amazon order. I freaking ordered a bunch of stuff from Amazon. It's not even here. They've patched my freaking motorcycle tire on my breakout. And when do we ride the bikes again? And it's just too many projects. And when are we going to then Florida? And it's just yeah. It's a lot going on behind the scenes. When I turn this phone off, I got so many things to do and take care of. It's never a slow movement. Just like you guys. I mean, I get it. I mean, I appreciate the people all the time who watch my videos. I really do. I get all that. How do I reward others? So I start doing the challenge of something, and somebody then gets some money or something just to kind of help grow the channel, where people feel like, hey, if I participate watching this video, maybe I get a $20 gift card, maybe I get $100. I don't know. I mean, it's all about advertising. That's one thing for sure. Some people have mentioned get some hats, Ice Age TV hats or something. So if I could just sit down and really kind of figure out what would be kind of neat and entertain people and hopefully bring more subscribers to help the channel grow, to bring the money in to share the money, right? That would be cool. So anyways, that's it. And once again, as always, reach out, get Ice Age TV sticker at Ice Age TV comments at gmail.com if you want one. If you want a flyer sticker. And but make sure you put it on your car correctly. Don't put it backwards. Got that? So don't paste it so it looks like this going down the road. That's not like this. If you get the hint, that conversation is all about the flag video that I took down. From the Ice fans. So anyways, God bless. Have a great day. Stay safe.